Welcome back to Marvel Revisited. That's right, it's the podcast where every week, I guess almost every week, we get together and we rewatch and revisit every MCU movie in order, ranking everything that is good or bad about it.
The moment you've all been waiting for. It's the one where like there will be heavy disagreement.
Maybe.
We'll
see.
Has Winston changed
I feel
his
like
mind?
Winston changed a little bit, not as much.
Have I changed my mind? Do I hate it now?
Oh,
yeah.
See, it's happened. It's happened again, Eric. Nate first he disagrees, and then he's like, you know what? I disagree with myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm used to it by now.
The human condition.
So Eric, please introduce us. What is the movie we are revisiting today?
I have to take my mint out.
Store it in there for another day.
Yeah, so the old pocket mint. Today on Marvel Revisited, we will be talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Sweet. Thank you.
Nice.
Yes, we are discussing Thor Ragnarok, of course, released in November 3rd, 2017, with a runtime of an hour and 130 minutes, budget of 180 million, box office of 854 million. Ooh, a lot of Benjamins there, and of course directed by Taika Waititi, his Marvel debut.
Hello.
As his first big time movie as well.
Yes, which is crazy that he got a Marvel movie for his first big time movie. Crazy.
Dude is a good
knocked it out of the park in my opinion.
Dude, yeah.
Not only is he funny, a good actor, but yeah, he
got
directs.
visions.
Yeah, he's
just in that opening scene when he's like fighting everybody and he throws his hammer and it's like the hammer going through everybody and then it stops and comes back. I was like, what a great way,
by the way,
to like, feel that dynamic of Thor. And I don't know why they haven't done that shot since the first Thor, like,
right.
Well done.
I do feel like the rules for Mjolnir change a little bit in this film. In all the other films, like he would throw it, but the only time that it would act of its own volition is when it was coming back to him. And it was always in like a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that first fight that you're talking about, it's like he could almost use it like the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Like he threw it exactly in that shot that you're talking about, and then it just keeps going in circles and keeps going and keeps almost like he's controlling it with the Force. Mm-hmm. I'm not but I also don't know if that's like, oh, he's better at using Mjolnir now. That's why it's got more like telekinetic ability. But I don't think it's like that in any other Marvel movie. Also, in that scene when he's running away from the dragon, he's flying and it's just pulling him. Like he's not spinning it or anything. It's just pulling him.
That's the way it's always been.
No, dude, I'm pretty sure in the other ones he had to spin it and it would take him away like a helicopter.
But he wasn't spinning it while he was flying.
That's true.
No.
That's
it
true.
was just pulling him straight, like just straight
no. But when he's saying is once he does the
propel,
the
it
twirl,
launches him, and he can just keep going, holding it.
I don't even think he did that though in this scene.
Oh,
I think it just pulled him away.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't know if what you're saying is accurate. I feel like he always has to spin it, and then you just see him almost like Mary Poppins, where like it's kind of just spinning on its own, and he's just going places.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like he does have to wind it up. You're 100% right. But I think even after that, he's still technically spinning it, and it's pulling him away.
That is a great point.
I don't think that's
I never thought
thing.
of the physics behind Thor.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing, but this is different for sure.
Yeah, and it creeps up on you. I mean, like that's exactly what it makes you feel like. Like the it kind of has a mind of its own, but he like directs it.
Yeah,
Like I don't. It's like an
it feels like an
extension.
extension of
Yeah,
himself.
extension of his body. But yeah, I guess I never even thought about it until you said something. Like
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
there's.
either. I just noticed it for the first time in that shot that Winston's talking about.
Mhm.
It's like I just read like I don't think they've ever done that before. Like
Mhm.
in all the other times, like it's basically just an object that can come back to him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in this one, it's like no, he can like magically telekinetically control it.
Like manipulate it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And I like
Kratos.
that. I like it.
Can Kratos do that?
Yes.
Like he
Yeah.
can make it like go
Yeah.
places.
Twirl around him.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's a really good
Which
combat,
Oh,
yeah,
experience.
which I'm not again, like I said, I'm not against that. And they never talk about it, but I'm just gonna assume in my head canon it's like he's getting better at using the hammer and that's why he's able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, enough about physics. Uh, here, let's start off with the big one. Eric, how many times have you seen Thor Ragnarok? Did anything change rewatching it?
how dare you? First off, the big one, the very, very
You're taller than us.
shocking and appalled
I
by
didn't
just
call you the big one. I meant the
no, no,
question.
no, no,
The
no, no,
big
no,
question.
no, no.
It's not a big question
you
either.
subtly dropped it in there.
It's the starter
Like
question.
let's start with the big one.
Here comes the
Eric,
big one.
yeah.
Bulbasaur.
Okay. All right, guys.
It's like
Okay.
starter question, starter Pokemon. You get it?
Oh, I got it. I got
Thank
it. I would never, never, ever pick Bulbasaur as my starter.
Exactly. Nobody would say the big one, Bulbasaur. It's definitely not the big question, Winston. Never make that mistake again.
Jeez, never thought I'd get so much hate for calling it the big question. Jeez.
All right.
Uh,
All right. I'm gonna say this was my. I want to say third or fourth, but
Whoa.
yeah. Just to be safe, I'll say third.
That's crazy.
I saw it in theaters. I saw it one other time that I can remember, and then last night.
I
So
thought you would have seen this movie like as many times as Guardians.
no, I would think that too by now,
it's not
but
that good.
no, I I love this movie. It's funny. It has heart. It's one of my favorite characters by far. But yeah, just I don't know. There's just so many Marvel movies, man, and it's just something about.
It's also one of the newer ones as well, so there's less time for you to rewatch it.
Yeah, but I don't even feel like I don't know. Like what we're doing now with watching them in order, it just makes so much more sense. But like watching them as single movies is just it kind of feels weird to me sometimes. Because I
Yeah, how
don't
much they
know.
rely on each other.
Yeah, I mean it is its own movie, but it's it's just like an undertaking almost. But no, I do love this movie. I love the characters. I love it's up there for me. So we'll get into it more. But those are my surface level.
Sweet. Nate, how many times have you seen Thor Ragnarok? Did anything
I'm
change
gonna
your
get
watching?
this same with Eric. It's 3 or 4, but I think I'm definitely more on the 4 side. Like I think I've watched it twice since the theaters, and then this. And I think things may have changed just a tiny bit. Um, I don't know if it's just the mood I've been in lately,
Oh no.
but no, I still like it. It's still an excellent film. I like a ton of the stuff. I like a ton of the stuff that they do. But I think I did. It was like up on a little bit of a pedestal in my head, and I think it's just off that. But it's still a good movie. There's a ton of stuff I like about it, but it's not the best movie by any means. And yeah, I think we're right there because I don't even want to say it makes mistakes because I can't think of any off the top of my head. But yeah, it's good though. I do like it a lot.
Interesting. Well, gentlemen, we all know this is my second time watching this movie. I only saw it once in theaters. And infamously, I have been known in the galaxy as the Ragnarok hater. Um, everyone's like, "This movie's fantastic," and I'm like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "You're a hater. You're the worst. You're not even a Marvel fan." And I'm like, "I do a whole podcast about Marvel movies."
I don't even think we've ever said that, but okay.
I don't think anybody ever has.
And I would like to report back to you guys and say nothing has changed.
You suck, bro. What's wrong with you?
It's not that I hate this movie. I don't hate this movie. And in fact, we're going to talk about like it might have changed a little bit positive, a little more in the positive side, because there's some arcs that I really, or some characters that I really like what they do. But and then there's a lot of other things. And it's like, even outside of the humor, I feel like there's some missteps here. And the humor is a big part of it, because my big thing is just like, there's so many times that there's a hard tone shift and it's just jolting. It's like, what's happening? Or there's like a really intense emotional scene. It's like, wow, I didn't think that this would be in this movie. And then they're like, silly joke. And I'm like, why? Let us sit with this serious moment, because now you just took away all the gravitas that this moment had. And I don't like that. I just don't. So we're obviously going to get into it, but I don't hate this movie. I just feel like it doesn't go up to what everybody says, like, oh, this is, top 5 Marvel movies. I know so many people that have this on their top 5. Some even it's their favorite. And I'm like, I just completely disagree. But
Okay.
Let's start ranking stuff, guys. MCU
I'm
importance.
excited, I am. I'm excited.
MCU importance. Are we ranking it?
Pretty important. A lot happens in this film, dude. So much happens.
Yes.
Like, there's so much character development in this film.
I think
For Thor, for Loki.
I froze.
yes, you did. I feel like out of the Thor, like, sure, the first one is pretty important, but I feel like out of the Thor trilogy, this is the most important.
Oh yeah, easily.
It's definitely the best. Like,
Oh,
not even.
yeah,
No,
it's definitely the
yeah.
best. Of course it is.
Is it the most important? I don't know if that's true.
I think that's true.
I
We
think
lose
I think
Odin.
it's close, yes.
We
But
lose
how much
Odin.
of a
We
presence
lose.
was Odin outside of the Thor movie? He's not a presence outside of the Thor movies at all.
But
He's very important. He's a very important character, if you ask me.
sure, Odin's important. We get the hard turn with Loki this time. Like, he's actually going good now.
He's like chaotic good, basically, at
Yeah.
this point.
Thor loses his eye.
Which
It doesn't matter that
ends up
much.
not mattering.
Not really, but it is important to the
At
story.
the time,
And then the big one, Mjolnir's gone.
Yeah.
That's
Mjolnir's
a
gone.
huge like plot point for what comes
Again,
after.
dude, like, they freaking
Yeah.
go back on.
by the way, Asgard is destroyed.
Yeah,
That's
that is
huge.
kind of important, because, like, I will say Odin dying and Asgard getting destroyed, I feel like heavily influences Thanos going full power. Because I know technically he had already been starting that before Asgard was destroyed, but I also think that it's not impossible that he kind of knew that Asgard was on its last legs.
I wish they would have
He
kind of
foretold
went into
Ragnarok.
that. Yeah, I kind of wish they would have shown us a little bit more of like the behind the scenes kind of Thanos's.
Yeah, destroying Xandar.
Well, yeah, like his thinking patterns, almost like I feel like Thanos would have had like spies throughout different parts of like.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been super cool to see, like certain turn of events, like he bided his time for the exact right moment.
Yeah, where he knew he could win.
Yeah, and I think that would have been sweet.
Freaking, as I like to bring up, people dying or people that could have changed things in Infinity War.
Odin. Yondu.
I think Hela would have wiped the floor with Thanos.
Wow.
Like
Hela would have been
I
hella
think
cool.
I think it would have been a closer fight with his whole army against her. But I think she might even win that. And then one-on-one, she freaking kills him. I think even with like some Infinity Stones, I think she still like kills him. Like she's so powerful, bro. Like she doesn't get scratched until the end.
Well,
Like
yeah,
it,
they brought out the only thing that can stop her is pretty much not
like
having
apocalyptic events.
is Asgard not being there anymore. So
Yeah. That also, I do think that okay. Let's keep on track with the importance of the MCU. But I actually would have loved this. I mean, just like a what if of just like Thanos showing up to Asgard and Hela just like wrecking him.
That'd be
That would have been
interesting.
great.
I
Because
never
he would
even
have
thought of
had
that.
what? He would have had the Power Stone, right? Because he got that from Xandar. And what else? Is that it?
I think that's it. I
Because
think that's what he starts
he
off
would
with.
have gone to Asgard to go get the Space Stone. I think
Tesseract.
the Tesseract.
Yeah.
And I think she would have freaking like killed him, like because all he has is the Power Stone. Like her freaking like summoning spikes ability is like pretty close to Power Stone level.
Yeah. And plus,
Um,
she's super resistant or resilient.
Oh yeah, yeah, resilient.
Goddess
like-
of Death. I mean,
You know, honestly, if they were sticking with the comics, like they might have gone together.
Maybe, but like he'd have to be like second fiddle to her, at least in some way, because she's not going to be like co-rulers with anybody. So like Thanos like would have had to be like, okay, like I will help you take over everything, and then later kill her. But like if they just went one-on-one, like I totally think she would win.
Wow.
it's debatable.
Yes.
Another
Actually,
important-
weren't they coming out with a show or something called Face Off, where they were going to pit certain people against each other?
No, I don't know
I
about
thought
that.
I heard about this. Anyways, I'm gonna say the top half because it is pretty important. I think it should go in the top half. There's 16, so 8.
Also, I love how like Loki looks way more like Hela's sister than Thor does, and he's not blood
adopted.
related
Yeah.
at all. It's
Yeah.
like you guys match, you guys do not, but you're related. Okay.
Avengers, Civil War, Age of Ultron, Doctor Strange, Guardians, Winter Soldier, Thor, and Ant-Man.
All right. Winter Soldier.
That's
And
kind of where
Thor. Let's pit it against Thor. Okay, Thor literally introduced us to the rest, like a ton of the universe,
Yes.
as well as a ton of characters. This film, go ahead.
I'm going to stop you there for a second. It just this is a side note, but it's really annoying to me because it's obvious when Thor was introduced, they're like, oh yes, they are these Norse gods and everything, and they make it very clear, we're not gods, we're aliens with superpowers. Now the MCU is going in a direction where they're like, nope, yep, those Norse gods, no, they were aliens. But gods, yeah, no, they're a thing. It's like, I hate that. I hate it so much.
Dude,
I'm
I
like,
feel like
stick with your
to your
guns.
lore. I feel like even before that, though, it was wishy-washy. Because, like, why are only Odin's family super powerful? Like, why is, like, virtually no other Asgardian as powerful as they are? Like, the only one that comes even, like, relatively close, but he really doesn't, is Heimdall.
Sure.
And even he gets, like, wiped.
I really wish they would have been like, hey, Odin, he was a descendant from a celestial. Or something like that, you know? Give us a reason why Odin was so powerful, and then from there, it's kind of like a mutation, you know? Where they get that mutant gene.
Because, like, if it really feels like every other Asgardian is just like a normal human.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels like that. And I don't think that's true, but that's how it feels.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it almost feels like, oh, if you're an Asgardian, you're a completely normal human, unless you train really hard, because like Valkyrie is also super hardcore, which I love. But it's like, why? Like, what do you have to do as an Asgardian to become god tier?
Yeah, true.
Um. Anyway, so let's pit it against each other. Thor introduces a ton of stuff that matters and is still matters to this day, like Jane Foster, like still matters to this day. Ragnarok, it introduces that like Hulk is becoming intelligent, and that actually matters a lot. It introduces Valkyrie, which still matters. It changes Thor. It changes Loki. That still matters. It kills Heimdall, which no, it doesn't kill Heimdall. That's right. It doesn't kill Heimdall. So
No, he's still alive.
it moves the Asgardians and destroys Asgard. Like that matters.
And it puts them at the. It's literally the end of this movie is literally the start of Infinity War.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's really close.
I would put it above the original Thor at least.
I think so too.
It doesn't introduce any more Infinity Stones at all.
True. Yeah. But it does.
But you are right.
It does hint at where the Infinity Stone is, and that's why. Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Loki.
No, freaking! Why can't I think of his name? I'm a mess. Purple Man.
Thanos.
Thanos. Thank you. I'm so
Purple Man!
sorry. I'm so
Jim!
sorry. Like I was right.
Man.
He
Hold up,
isn't a
Thanos-
fan.
Thanos had to have a spy because how the hell would he know it's on that ship?
Yep. How would he know that?
He
Loki
had
has
to
it?
something.
Yeah, so
Or
we didn't get
tracker
to
of
see
some
any
sort.
of that.
Yep.
It's lame.
Okay. I mean, okay. So and then Winter Soldier is above Thor
Yes.
right now. Winter Soldier does also do a lot. Like it makes
does.
Cap bad. No, it doesn't. Civil War makes Cap bad.
We pretty much just get Bucky.
We get Bucky, Hydra, Shield coming down.
Which is Shield coming down is pretty big
Yeah,
because like
that's
Shield
big.
would have been super important if it didn't come down.
Yeah.
Shield's absence is felt.
Yeah. So I think right there is enough to keep it below.
We also get
Civil-
Anthony
I mean,
Mackie introduced.
Oh, that's true. We get Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, I say
Wakanda. Oh, that's not what. That's again. That's
It's
Civil
Civil
War.
War.
just
Like
above. Just above Thor, I think.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. So it's the new number 7. Gentlemen.
Woo! That's pretty high up there.
Pretty high up there.
That's right.
Heimdall. Heimdall should have been like a god in this freaking movie, and they'd like do next to nothing with him. It's
Dude.
so infuriating.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Like I literally have in my notes best parts of these movies. Actually, you know what? Introducing Marvelous Facts.
Marvelous facts.
Thank you. Now I have to find it. There we go. Tom Hiddleston and Idris Elba's highest billing to date in any Marvel movie. Ironically, both have less screen time in this movie than the previous Thor movies. And I have it in my notes. I'm like, the best part about this movie is Loki and Heimdall. Like they are so
that
cool.
is not true.
They are so cool in this movie.
Heimdall does nothing, bro. He literally, I mean, yes, he saves the people, but like they don't show us enough. Like every scene is just him just like whacking goblins basically.
But also like think about it. Like so right when crap hits the fan, he's the one who's like, all right, I'm going to sneak around. I'm going to go in exile.
Yeah, but exactly. But he's sneaking around.
That's
like it's
awesome,
Heimdall.
dude. That's awesome, though.
Know,
he's
dude.
He's the one that's protecting all of Asgard at that moment.
I agree with Winnie that aspect. You want to see more of it.
Yeah, I would totally love to see more of it.
So much more of it. And it's like Heimdall is a freaking badass, dude. Like from what I know in the comics, he's like basically as strong as Thor. Like he is so powerful. And it's like we do not get that whatsoever in this film.
But
Oh, we get MCU.
what I mean is that the story that they like, what the character stands for, is super cool, and it's very to the character, and it's awesome. And then also, Idris Elba's performance in it is probably his best yet in the MCU, and it's awesome. And also
Man, dude.
visually,
What?
dude, that one shot when like this makes me excited for Love and Thunder, because there's that one shot where he's like, "Give, let me see," and then it goes into his eyes and everything, and it's like kind of like the colors are muted and everything, and I'm like, this scene looks fantastic. There's so much of this movie that's like the colors are, oh, they're
Yeah.
so glorious.
Glorious.
I don't know, dude. I feel like every time I see Heimdall, I'm like disappointed because I know that he's not gonna do what I think he should be capable of. Like I absolutely would have loved a freaking scene where he goes toe to toe with freaking Hela, but they even take that away from us.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, he's not gonna beat Hela. Like I get that, that's fine, but like let him hold his own. But he just feels like another lackey. Like he feels weaker than Loki, than freaking Valkyrie. He feels weaker than everybody there, and it's super disappointing.
No, but dude, I think that's the difference here. You know him from the comics, and you know his power level from the comics. I don't, and I already know. Like that's my expectations. Like, of course he's weaker than Valkyrie. Of course he's weaker than Loki. Like, of course he is. But he's still an awesome character. I love his performance. I love his writing. I just like everything about it.
It's also disappointing because you're totally right. Like Idris Elba he could be his own superhero. Like he could have his own trilogy in the MCU. So that's another thing why it's disappointing. It's like this character is super awesome, this actor is super awesome, and we do what I feel like is less than the bare minimum with him. Like he feels so powerless in this film, and it sucks. Like it's painful for me to watch.
Can we talk about something that I kind of feel like they dropped the ball with, since we're talking about Heimdall? Another character that I was excited about, kind of doesn't fit with Hela, but is Scourge.
Yeah, again, dude, another waste of an actor.
Yeah,
Carl
great.
Urban
Carl
is a
Urban.
legend.
Right, and we get this meek kind of like afraid to do anything toward it, right until the end, and
then he dies.
yeah, such a waste. And it makes me angry because he's supposed to be the right hand of Enchantress. Like him and Enchantress are always like together, and and I feel like they kind of just were like, okay, let's throw him in there, and then instead of him being with Enchantress, we'll put him with Hela, whatever. I thought the redemption thing was kind of cool at the end, but I mean, what he could have been as a villain, and like if they actually would have done something with Enchantress, and they do later. I mean, they introduced Enchantress in the Loki series, so I feel like that's a missed opportunity. They could have made him like I think that dynamic with those two would have been cool. So another thing I wasn't really happy about.
Yeah. Are we ranking something right now?
Hold.
Just
please
go
hold.
with it. What are we ranking?
So right now we were supposed to be ranking costumes. Obviously, we don't rank Thor's costumes, but I did want to shout out this one is the first time where we see a difference
too.
And dude, it's awesome. His costume looks so much better than it ever has. I love the gladiator scene where it's like, and then he's got the ears that come up. So freaking cool.
The new cut.
He looks so much better with short hair. And then later he goes to long hair again. In the new one, he's got long hair. I hate it. Go with the short hair. You look fantastic with the short hair, bro. Totally.
I like the long hair. Like all right, I get when it's the wig, it's not working for me. But when he actually grows out his hair for the scenes, like it looks cool, man.
Yeah.
Like I like the short hair, but man, it's not the same Thor to me.
Exactly. I love the short hair. I love it in this film. I love it in Infinity War, but it's not who Thor is. So I'm super glad we got it. I love that we got it because it looks great, it fits great, it works great. But like Eric said, I'm glad that he went back to being himself. Thor has long hair. He is a Norse god. They he's got long hair. Okay, so I'm glad they went back to it. I'm glad we got it. So I feel like we got the best of both worlds as far as the hair goes.
The Lord of Thunder and the Lord.
I did want to shout out also
God of Thunder! God of Thunder! Sorry.
Lord of Thunder. I did want to shout out, since we're talking about costumes, how terrible the like when Loki is with the Grandmaster, he has this weird like leather suit on, and it doesn't look good. And I don't know why they put him in that. Like, just put him in his Loki outfit.
Fine.
That looks fantastic.
I think it's fine.
Leather?
Yeah.
No, yeah, he definitely has it. I think he wears it for like the rest of the movie, basically.
Oh, you mean the black suit he's in?
No.
Loki.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm just like,
It's
I'm fine with it.
like a weird dark purple, and it's
it
like
was dark green.
Was it dark? Oh, man, I can't even remember.
was
I just
a
remember
dark
it didn't look as
color.
good as his like normal Loki outfit. It was like
I think
came
Yeah,
here.
his robes.
He came here with that outfit on. Just leave
Yeah.
a minute. He looks fantastic. Like, what are you doing?
his
Anyways.
green. Yeah, his suit in this was. I mean, I loved the Loki, just the regular Loki look with the green. But I thought he looked cool when we saw him in like the black suit too.
I thought he looked fine. Oh, you're
I
talking
thought he
about
looked-
when he's on Earth?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looks
Oh, yeah,
sharp.
he looks good.
Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, I feel like people would recognize Loki. Like, he's legitimately like
Yeah,
the
he's like
worst terrorist of all time, basically.
pretty much.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know Osama bin Laden's face? Like, could you recognize it if you saw it,
I couldn't.
Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like he's like kind of worse than that, but like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just
No,
in New York.
He's probably worldwide. Like,
and
yeah,
nobody's like,
you know who Loki is.
and then Thor fangirls show up and they're like, "Oh, Thor, take pictures," but I'm gonna like not know who Loki is, the worst terrorist of humankind.
Yep. And Thor's brother.
I know. So that was a little.
They are not
plot
true fans. Not true fans.
Fake fans, fake MCU fans.
hole.
We're
Are
only
we doing
here for your
costumes? I
party.
thought we're not
no,
doing costumes.
we're not ranking
So
Thor's.
what are
We're
we
just
doing?
doing
So
shout outs,
now,
right?
now we're going into ranking the villain. But first, a few marvelous facts for you.
Oh, don't forget Tom Hiddleston performance.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming at some point, baby.
Marvelous Fox!
Thank you. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying something new.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Hela is primarily based on her comic version, the Norse goddess of death and apocalypse, but incorporates traits of Thor's enemy, Gore the God Butcher. Oh, I wonder if we're ever going to see him. An
does?
enemy who wields a magic sword and can create constructs, and Thor's sister, Angela, a rival to Thor.
I didn't get any of that.
Also, sorry, I have them scattered around through here. Here's one that I'm like, this is a straight up plot hole. Hela seeks the sword to open the Bifrost. Yet, in Thor, Loki uses the Staff of Odin to open the Bifrost, letting in the Frost Giants. Loki also traveled to Jotunheim, the frozen world of the Frost Giants, using the staff. It would figure Hela would already know this, as the hidden mural on the ceiling shows Odin carrying All-Father's staff into battle.
Plot hole.
Yep.
I mean, that's not the only plot hole. Too.
It's
like,
definitely not, yeah.
like the whole Hela existing, and nobody remembering Odin was like a slaughtering madman. Like that's, and Frigga was okay with this.
Right? Yeah.
Because like we're left to assume that Frigga is Hela's mother, and I guess she was just also a maniacal psychopath for a while as well.
See, I'm like, and that's where I'm like kind of like torn, because I'm like, okay, that as a story point, stupid. You know, it's dumb. But also I like the
imperialist colonist themes.
Yes,
colonizer
behind
themes.
it, where it's just like we built this great place on dead bodies, and I'm like, that is a cool concept.
That's
because
real.
most of the time it's very real. Yeah, like so true, you know? And they're like, oh, now you want peace after you freaking raped and pillaged through and it's also very
The
Norse.
9 realms.
Like that's kind of how the Norse go, you know? And all that's also like a hint to actual Norse mythology. Like Odin was a freaking bad dude, and Thor was the worst of them. Like straight up, look into like actual Norse mythology. It's pretty horrendous, but like this is the fantasized version of that. So I like concepts of this idea. I don't think it works for the story, but that's
Yeah,
just
it definitely wasn't implemented the best. But like you said, I like it, so I allow it. Like I forgive them. I forgive them for like that doesn't make that much sense, but what you're doing is cool, so I'm fine with it.
Hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at.
It almost makes me like think of my own backstory for Freya. Like I feel like at those times back then, like her and Odin weren't at the best in their relationship. She had like odds with him, and then like Odin kind of changed his mind over time because of Freya, like wanting to like
I like that.
yeah. Like okay, yeah,
I would have
maybe,
loved if they sprinkled that in. Like, why didn't they have like, oh, Hela hated her mother, you know,
yeah.
and Freya convinced Odin that like, no, she has to be put away because she's insane.
Yeah.
that could have been cool.
Could have been.
And like the only thing that kept Freya and Odin together was Thor being born, you know?
See,
And
see, it
You're,
writes
you're writing
itself.
it right here, you know?
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
Let's
A lot of MCU movies are like, if you did 3 things differently, you'd go up a whole point.
let's rank the MCU villain though. Where
I
should
think
I
she's
start?
pretty good. She's not
He's
like,
good.
yeah, she's not amazing, but she's pretty good. They definitely start from the top because the MCU villains at this point kind of blow for the most part.
You know,
She is
definitely
not.
gonna be
I'm gonna
towards
start in the
top.
middle. I'm gonna start in the middle. Winter Soldier.
No, dude, I'd start. Okay, fine. I think you should start at the top, bro.
Okay, all right, fine. Starting at the top.
Even if she goes under Winter Soldier, she still is in that league.
Loki, Baron Zemo, Vulture, Ultron, Winter Soldier, Ronin.
Okay. I think it's Ultron, Winter Soldier area. Do you think the Vulture is worse than her, Eric?
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't,
What?
just because the Vulture is so human. Like I relate with him more than I relate
Well,
with Hela.
is that what's gonna make our villains now? Is just relatability?
Yes.
It's important, dude.
Yes. No, I'm not
It's
saying
not
it's
the
not
only
important,
thing.
but when you look at a villain, you have to. Okay, relatability. We get. I get it, but I mean, when it comes to villains, I'm like, what can they do? How do they look? What is
Yep.
their motivation?
And
Now,
that's
I
part of the
Now
relatability
I
thing.
feel like that she has all of that. She has the anger
What's-
issues.
What's her relatability, dude? Like it very much feels that she's
No, like
evil
that.
to be evil.
No, I feel like the relatability isn't very much there for this character, but on every other level, she's just like what I look for in a villain.
Yeah.
I mean, she gave it. Like I feel like she wasn't being evil to be evil. I just feel like they didn't really explain it, but I mean, her father was trying to conquer the 9 realms, and that's what she grew up doing. So I feel like,
Who she is.
yeah, I mean, she was just trying to make her father proud, and then like he wanted to change. He no longer wanted to take that route, and
Yeah.
so she has these anger issues against her father. She expects what she deserves. I feel like she is the firstborn, so she should have the throne. She's a psychopath, but I mean that's what she was raised killing. Um so I don't know. I feel like
No, dude, you're totally right with everything you said.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like relatability is not the most important thing. Like, how much do any of us really relate with the Joker? He's got like a glint of relatability, a glint of it, a glint of it.
I don't even know if
But-
there's a glint, but I don't
yeah.
need it.
What's a glint? How do you measure a glint?
Ah, bro, I mean, you don't understand the whole that like it only takes one bad day for somebody to lose it.
No,
Like you
no,
don't
no. I'm just saying,
get
like,
that.
what's a glint like? Like, how do you
Oh,
measure? It's
oh,
a
okay.
joke.
Like
Keep
just a
saying.
little bit. But like but the Joker's still like the best villain because of two things. Well, not two things. Everything that you said, and then also what he stands for. Like that is so interesting. It's like such a great philosophical and thematic
What do you
conflict.
stand for? What
Exactly.
do you stand?
And like that's another thing that Hela doesn't really have. Like what does she stand for? You know? Like what is she questioning? Like does she like does she challenge like does she challenge you as a person? The way that like the way you live your life, the way you think, what you believe, the way that a villain like Thanos or a villain like the Joker does, even though one is pretty relatable and one isn't relatable at all. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's where she's lacking. But everything you said is right, and that's why she is a good villain. But I
Yeah.
think that stops her from being a great villain, is all I'm saying.
What I want to
Her
say.
performance, Kate Blanchett's performance is also like, I love it.
See, and that's where I get. I'm like, she gives it her all, but also it's like it's the same thing I have with this movie where there's so many moments where they're all like, yeah, she's intimidating. Yeah, she's serious. And then they just throw in a joke in there and they're like, never mind. It's like, wait, what? So this person isn't serious. So wait,
Yeah.
so I shouldn't be scared of this person. And it's just, that's another thing that really knocks down this villain for me. I can't take her seriously. I'm not scared of Hela. You know, that first move that she has,
I don't know.
breaking the hammer, that's a heck yeah, I'm like a figure here and I will, step on your face and I don't care, That's what that move says. And then like later on in the movie, it's just like, never mind. Like she's just gonna like it's frustrating because there are the bones here for in this movie. And she could have been menacing to me,
I
but she isn't.
feel like I get what you're saying. And a better, because like Joker makes jokes as well, but he's still freaking terrifying. That being said, I mean, she's like a monarch. Like, I feel like she totally fits, like Eric was saying, that like sadistic monarch archetype. And that's like everything's a game to her. Because like everything is kind of a game to her. And that's why she's so, like, she just doesn't care. Like, she's so humorous so nonchalant about stuff. Because it's like, she's in her mind, she's so far above everybody else that it's like a joke to her that she even has to look at you.
Well, yeah. Well, in a way, I guess she is. I don't think she even expected like them to take it to that step and actually cause Ragnarok. So I mean,
But at the same time, like you're right, like she doesn't really ever drive the stake in all the way. So I
And
get what you're saying,
and
but
it totally seems like she's the type of character that would, after 2 seconds from meeting your brother, you wreck a relic that she even knows what Mjolnir is. She is shown
she
having it. Like,
used it,
yeah, she
which is
used it.
crazy.
So it's like she knows how important Mjolnir is and what a legendary weapon it is, and she's like, boom, gone. Which means like, hey, I mean business, and I'm not playing around here. And then she plays around. Just like I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's like what I'm saying. Like with the sadistic ruler, it's
Yeah.
like but you're right. Like they could have played it better because they, like I said, they don't drive the stake all the way in because she's playing that game. Whereas, like, oh, am I gonna kill you? Am I serious or am I just joking around? But like they never like really, really drive that all the way in.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then my other issues with the character is just, again, like we've already talked about, it just feels like a whole plot hole of her even existing, which like makes it even make less sense to me. I'm really excited for. Well, I'm not really excited because I already talked about how Taika Waititi's like style doesn't really vibe with me, but I'm intrigued to see how they do it with the next movie because uh, uh, the new villain, Christian Bale, that's playing him, like he seems like so much more like, I guess he could be relatable, but I'm saying like his presence in this world makes perfect sense, where Hela not so much. Like you're really telling me I should buy this, and obviously yeah, it's real because, she goes into the mural and we see the past and everything, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't buy it. So
Yeah.
that's my
I mean,
issues with the
at the end of the day, like it is cheap that she's just pulled out of the hat in the third movie. Like, how much better would it have been if they had sprinkled in
references.
foreshadowing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or even in the second movie or first one,
But
be like,
even they didn't know.
yeah,
It's just
exactly.
the beauty of 2020. Yeah. So let's rank her. Is she over Ultron? I mean, I think she is. Like, because Ultron, I feel like she reaches her potential more than Ultron did. And I'd rather watch her as a villain than Ultron. I do enjoy watching
You know what?
Ultron.
Yeah,
I do enjoy him, but I would still rather watch more Hela of the Hela that we got than the Ultron we got.
you're right.
I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. I
It
like
also
her more
feels
than
more
Ultron.
powerful.
Yeah. But then again,
Like,
I
she
didn't really.
absolutely
I think Ultron is
fights.
too high on this list, but yeah, I do agree with you. I think she's better than Ultron.
And who's above Ultron right now?
Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture. I mean, he's just a really good villain. Like, he's a small time villain in my opinion, but he's a really good small time villain.
Yeah.
And like, I really don't have that many criticisms of the Vulture at all. Like, his criticism is that he's small time, which
Yeah.
isn't his fault.
Okay, so he's going above. She's going, sorry, above Ultron, under Vulture.
Yeah.
New number
Sure.
4.
She could have. I mean, I get you, Eric. Like, she could have been so much higher if they just
Yeah,
changed a
yeah,
couple things.
I'm not. I'm in love with. There's there's two franchises that I'm in love with the villains. It's been Spider-Man and Batman. The villains are just
They're the
they're
best.
just so good. And Vulture he's an awesome bad guy. The only thing that is just such a hindrance is the power levels.
Yeah,
Like
and I get that.
I just when I think of like okay, Vulture versus Hela,
That's
there's no
nothing.
contest.
It's nothing. Yeah,
But yeah,
it's a joke.
so
Vulture is discount Falcon.
no, but I get it. So if you guys want to put her
But she's still
below,
good, and she's definitely. Didn't we say Ultron? No, not Ultron. I don't remember. I was trying to say like where the line is in our current ranking of like if you're above this, you're a good villain, and if you're below this,
No,
you're a bad villain.
we don't have that for villains. We have that for the whole ranking of the MCU. If you're above Age of Ultron.
Who's below Winter Soldier? Ronin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ronin's definitely like
True.
a 2-bit villain.
Yeah.
middle of the road, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very like villain of the week villain.
True.
Whereas like Hela isn't that. Like, she has presence.
Sure. Yeah. So next is one I did want to talk about. I was anticipating this one. CGI.
Oh, wait, hold up. One last thing. Like, Kate Blanchett, like, she doesn't have too much to work with, but like, not only does she have presence, but there is also nuance in there. And that's why I like her performance so much. Like, if you really look at her performance, like, there is nuance. And like, that's why I'm telling you, Winston, where it's like, that's why it's like she's playing that paranoid monarch, or not paranoid, sadistic monarch so well. Because it's like, I feel like you just see the nuance where it's like when she says something calmly, you can still feel like all the menace behind it. And when she says something crazily or just like super evilly, you can still feel like the sadistic side just a little bit as well. And like, I love that. So she's great. I think she was an excellent choice.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. But the next one, even better. Christian Bale. Come on, let's go.
I hope so, bro. The
I
only
hope so
thing that I'm
too.
worried about is just like
You see
in
those
the
black and white
comics.
scenes? Heck yeah.
Yeah, dude, I like that. But I'm talking about like the actual villain
Yeah, I
design.
know.
Like in the comics, that villain is jacked. Like, he's jacked. Like, he goes physically up against Thor, like toe to toe. And I'm kind of sad that it doesn't look like we're getting that in this film. Because like, I very much felt like Thor and Gore's, like, it was almost like his arch nemesis. Like, it was his opposite, the other side of the coin.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I feel like them going in this direction adds that creep factor. like even more because you see him and you're like,
He looks
doesn't-
super creepy.
yeah, he does not look right.
Yeah, but I never got that vibe. I mean, which is kind of I never got that vibe from him in the comics. Like I said, I just totally got like he's just the antithesis to Thor.
Yeah,
You know, like Thor was a god, he was a peasant. You know, and then
Complete
yeah.
opposite side of the coin.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
the opposite in every way.
You're saying the reverse?
Well, honestly, you know, like another thing, like Thor is fantastical and colorful. Gore is not.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Especially in the new movie. He's
The
rocking
names,
gold and blue.
the names as well. You know, Thor, Gore. You know, like yeah, you guys get it.
Keep rhyming.
Yeah.
Keep rhyming. No, and what you've told me about him, like I've never read. I'm not.
Dude,
obviously,
honestly,
if
Winston,
if
you
you've
should
noticed.
read that comic. I bet you. Now that I think about it, you probably would really like it. Like I don't think
Okay.
it'll blow you away, but I think you definitly like it.
Yeah, but
Like
like,
it's a good run.
out of what you've told me about it, like he straight up sounds like Kratos, and I'm like, that sounds
A little.
dope.
I think he's a little less angry, but
Okay.
definitely as like murderous.
Cool. All right, now moving on to CGI though.
Yeah, like Taika does his best with the practical sets. You can see it, you can feel it, and it's great. But yeah, we're just at this point now. We are just in just the MCU CG fest, and I just hate it.
No, for
Like
me,
Go ahead.
for me, there was like straight up a whole sequence where I was like, this doesn't look good. And that's right when Hela is introduced into Asgard. She goes in and she's like spinning around. It's obvious it's a CGI model and it doesn't look that great. It's kind of blurry. It's like, nope, this doesn't look good at all. Like, and it's the whole fight. The whole fight.
Yeah.
And I even, like,
yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, it's middle of the road at best. Yeah, I was looking for things caught my eye while I was watching. I was like, that didn't look that great.
Like the
That didn't look that
practical
great.
looks the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's weird because then Fenrir looks great.
Sometimes, dude.
Duh.
Fenrir looks terrible sometimes as well,
Really?
dude. Yeah. For me. Okay.
No, they still did great on Hulk.
I shouldn't say terrible. No, even Hulk has his moments, dude.
I didn't notice any
Like
of that.
Hulk in his bedroom, I think looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But then Hulk in
yeah.
the Coliseum, I feel like looks very CG, in my opinion.
Mm.
You know, like in the entire Coliseum, I feel like the only things that look real are the people, which are the only things that are real. Yeah.
Sorry.
It just
Start in the middle. then?
it's hard because like from a technical standpoint, nothing is terrible. Like I'm saying, oh my god, it's terrible, but it isn't. Like these are still like super high quality models, super high quality animation, like just one step back from like the state of the art best of the best. But the thing is like the state of the art and the best of the best exists, you know? It's like we have movies like Dune and movies like freaking Blade Runner where it's like every single freaking shot is like, oh my god, I could be there right now. At this point, even stuff like Mandalorian, you know, it's like, damn, I could be there. So it's like when I see these MCU movies and it's like, you know, it just feels like CG. It sucks.
Since we were talking about Hulk, another marvelous fact for you.
This is the first movie where Mark Ruffalo voices the Hulk.
Yes, actually, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Fact.
Yes, this is the first movie where Mark Ruffalo voices the Hulk instead of
Lou Ferrigno. Jesus, I
Thank you.
hate you.
Lou Ferrigno. Thank you. Yeah. And you know what? Since you stole that one from me, Nate, I'm gonna say another one. Since we were talking about the Colosseum, Thor's friend from work line about the Incredible
love
Hulk
that.
was suggested to Chris Hemsworth by a Make-A-Wish child who visited the set on the day the scene was filmed.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I think it's great. And I love that.
He's a
We'll
friend
see.
from work.
He's so hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
I love freaking Tom Hiddleston's reaction. He's like, I have to get off this planet. I was like,
I
yes.
know, right? And then he's like, yes.
I am on you.
So great.
That was
I love
great.
that moved move bodied Loki, but like, I mean, maybe phased Thor, but it didn't stop him. And again, this movie proves Hulk is not the strongest Avenger because Hulk would have lost that fight just like he lost the fight against Tony in the Iron Buster. So right now, or not the Iron Buster, the Hulk Buster. Right now, like the power levels are like, I don't know where. I kind of do. Thor's at the top, Tony's right below him, and then it's Hulk. Like Hulk isn't even in the top two.
Yeah.
That was a good fight though. Like if the CG had been just dialed down, like really fine tuned, that fight would have been perfect. Because like the set piece and like the actual like what happens, like oh he gets thrown here, he gets thrown there, this gets zapped. Like it's such a great fight. I love it.
I think I didn't have a real issue with the CGI in that fight. And I thought it was choreographed very well. I think that's definitely going to be the one that we rank in when we talk about action sequence. But another marvelous fact, segueing into my train of thought, is according to Taika Waititi, while this movie adapts Planet Hulk's storyline, the Incredible Hulk wasn't going to be in this movie at all. It was only supposed to be Thor stranded on an alien battlefield world. And this is another huge misstep in my mind. I understand why they used it in this movie.
It's so much better with Hulk there. It's so much better.
That's not what I'm talking about, dude. I think they full on should have done Planet Hulk storyline.
Yeah,
Straight up.
Okay, what parts are you talking about specifically? Like where he controls the whole planet?
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying, like, I understand why they needed that in this movie, but I kind of wish that whole, like, I know it's the majority of the movie, but that whole like planet sequence wasn't there, and they replaced it with something else so that Hulk could have his Planet Hulk movie and where he's the villain. You know, that would have been like straight up. We already got one as a villain,
not even Hela.
No,
just get rid of Hela.
No, I'm saying that this Thor movie should have been about Hela and Thor and that relationship, that dynamic, and leave Hulk out of it.
Yeah, but this movie would have been so much worse if you did.
I know, but it's a detriment to Hulk. Hulk has already been undersold in the MCU, and I think he needed that moment in the MCU. He's not going to get it anymore.
This is a personal thing, but like Hulk's already had 2 movies, like, and both of them kind of sucked. So I'm not hyped to see Hulk in his own movie. Now I think we're finally getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not opposed to seeing a Hulk movie. Also, and I'll admit this is a personal thing. I kind of hate how overpowered Hulk has been in the comics and in other movies. Like I hate that. So I love that the MCU didn't do that. Like the Hulk is super powerful and has room to get even more powerful, but he's not like the answer to every solution. He can't die. He's not invincible. Because I hate characters like that. Like before the MCU, it was like, man, I hate Superman and I hate the Hulk because you can't beat them. And I'm not interested in like these unbeatable characters. So that's why like I'm not that interested in a Planet Hulk movie.
You hate Deadpool?
But Deadpool is like powerless compared to some other people.
Okay. No, I hate Superman too.
I don't
For
know.
that very reason.
That's my piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know.
Because let's be honest, he is one of the most popular, especially before the MCU, one of the most popular MCU hero or Marvel heroes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like whoever is a Hulk fan, I'm not a Hulk fan, but whoever is a Hulk fan that goes in to watch the MCU, I guarantee those people are disappointed by the Hulk in the MCU.
I get that, but like it's not like the Hulk gets nothing. Like the Hulk does get a lot. But you're right; he doesn't get as much as the other guys do.
Yeah.
No, I would have, and I think a lot of it was. I mean, they're not bad actors, but I don't know if they were the best actors for the movies or to play.
It's so much more than the actors do.
No, I know it's. But I mean, when you think of, I'm like, do you really see Edward Norton as Bruce Banner?
I don't know, man. Every time, I mean, you're right. Like, I think Mark Ruffalo does great, but like Mark Ruffalo has made the role his own.
Yeah.
Every time I remember seeing Bruce Banner in other media, whether it's comics or shows, he just feels like 2-bit scientist.
Yeah.
The real character is Hulk. Whereas
Yeah.
in the MCU, like Banner does feel like a character, like and that's because of Ruffalo. Like Ruffalo made Bruce like an actual character, and then the Hulk is another character, and I think that is 10 times more interesting than generic scientist.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's focus again.
I don't know where to rank CG, dude. I have no idea.
We're all over the place here.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm gonna start at 5.
Middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road is no,
That's not even middle of the road.
whatever.
No, I don't because
After Ant-Man, what's after Ant-Man?
5.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's where we need to go.
So,
Okay.
Civil War, Guardians Volume 2, Homecoming, Iron Man,
Ant-Man.
Winter Soldier, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3.
all right. I don't know if it's worse than Iron Man 2. I mean, Iron Man 2 has the suits going for it. But like the sets are great. Like Sakaar looks good. Like the practical parts of Sakaar look really good.
We're
And,
doing CG.
The Korg looks great too.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, at moments Fenrir looks great. I love the way the whole flashback with the Valkyries looked.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, there was a fact that it like took a lot of frames to do that.
It looks good.
Stupid.
That was such a dumb thing.
I know.
So many frames.
It's like
Yes,
saying,
many
bro,
frames.
I heard that like Halo took like so many fingers to make, dude. So many fingers to code. That's like what you just said.
I know. I'm sorry.
And also a Surtur, dude. Surtur, like he
Surtur's
slaps,
awesome.
man. Surtur slaps. Better than the suits in Iron Man Dose. What do you guys say?
I put it under, just because
less is more.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like that one fight just bothered me so much. Like I couldn't enjoy anything about the fight just because it looked.
Yeah.
The CGI was just
what's
popping.
under Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is similar, dude, where it's just like CG fest. I don't know. But, all right. Iron Man 3 has the tattoos, though. I love the tattoos. They look dope.
Okay. All right. What's under Iron Man 3?
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, dude. See, that's why it's so hard to freaking rank, because like everything's just a CG fest at this point. So it's like, which CG fest do you like better? I don't know, dude. Let's see. Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron. What looks amazing in Age of Ultron?
Ultron looks pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good at moments. In moments.
I would say the Iron Man Hulkbuster versus Hulk fight, that was all CG. That looked great.
Okay. That looks way better than anything in this film, I think.
All right, what's next?
Thor Dark World.
All right.
Oh, so much. Yeah, right there. Right there.
All
Got
right.
it.
All right.
That's the bar.
That's the bar.
Like, what looks good? What looks good in Thor Dark World?
The part where they're in the dark.
No, that's not even CG.
The dark looks so realistic, but the lights are on, man.
Yeah,
Dude, that ship battle looked pretty good. Like a lot of the Asgard shots look good in that film.
I guess and the elf ship design, like most the ship itself, looked okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, it's above that.
It's
put it there. Just put it
so
there.
it's the new.
It's
13.
not my fault. All right,
It's the new 13.
It's not my fault. Like if you're just gonna freaking just slap CG on it, I'm not gonna respect you. Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
If you're gonna slap CG on it, I want it to freaking look amazing, like Dune and like Blade Runner.
Jesus.
Dune Runner.
No expectations here. Just look like one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not calling Blade Runner the best movie ever because it's not. It just looks like one of the best movies ever.
Looks so good.
Now it's time to guess the Rotten Tomato score.
It's the prices. I mean, the Rotten Tomato score is right. 87.
I am gonna say 91.
God dang it. Every time. 90 is what I was thinking.
I think MCU fatigue is starting to sink in at this point. So I
Let's
don't think it's
see.
going to be that high.
Oh,
Wrong. Okay.
oh my gosh. Whoa. 93.
90. Oh,
Crap.
yeah.
Guys,
I
what is
guess I'm
wrong with
wrong.
you? This is not
I
that
guess
good of a
I'm
movie. It's
wrong.
not. It's just not.
I
And
don't know if it's that good. That's super good.
God, highest pieces of crap.
It is a good movie though, so I don't feel bad about it
good.
getting that ranking. But it is really high. Dude, I think it's that high because it's a Thor movie. And like at this point, it's like Thor movies suck. And
Yeah.
this was actually good.
Sure.
Like
yeah,
that's impressive.
yeah, that's true.
And what we've learned is that if you have movies or a character or narratives that suck, just throw it all out the window and do whatever the hell you want. That's basically what we've learned.
Pretty much, honestly, yeah.
Which I mean, in some cases it works, like Thor, the character, and in other things it's weird, like Bahela showing up out of nowhere.
Let's rank the soundtrack.
I loved
it's
the
pretty good.
soundtrack, man.
It's pretty good.
I loved it.
Starts
Why?
with freaking. Dude, it starts with freaking Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, bro.
Uh-huh.
That's solid.
And what's playing before that?
Isn't it like synth stuff?
No, dude. It's all
What
like
is it?
straight up like ooh, spooky vibes and everything, and then it's like dun, dun, like it's straight into Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
what is
bro.
this hard tone
Yeah,
shift?
bro.
No.
No, I'm into it. You're
No.
crazy.
I loved it.
Like I remember
And then-
before the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, sweet, this is interesting." Now rewatching it again, every time Led Zeppelin plays, I'm like, "This doesn't work." I don't know why people
No.
think this is awesome. I don't know why
You are
I thought this is awesome. This doesn't
crazy.
work for the movie. It
You
doesn't.
are crazy, dude.
Every
No.
time it's a super hard tone shift. It doesn't work. At least transition
It
into
doesn't
it,
work
you know?
for you, bro. It doesn't work for you. It's freaking dope.
They have
Um,
kind of like a, like you were saying, synth,
And I
like-
like that too, man.
synth like slash Celtic like vibe to it. So
is-
Sometimes
cool.
I do, and that's pretty cool.
yeah, I loved it, and it even parts of it reminded me of the music from Mass Effect.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I get that
I'm
vibe
just
a
like,
little bit.
oh, okay, I really like that. I even downloaded the album.
Yeah, most of the
When
time when they're on the Grandmaster's planet, like yeah, they have stuff like that playing. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
good.
like, yeah,
I like it. I think
a
it's good.
And visually, what they do when they're on Grandmaster's planet is awesome as well.
So high end for me.
Okay, let's start at the top. Guardians, Adventures, Homecoming, Iron Man, Guardians Volume 2, Iron Man 2, Civil War, and Winter
Okay.
Soldier.
Okay.
I
I mean,
think
it's
it's
definitely over Civil War.
Yeah, I think it's below Iron Man.
I don't know
Above
if it's
Guardians
better than
Volume
Iron Man 2. What's above Iron Man 2?
Guardians Volume 2.
It's not better than Guardians Volume 2. Well, is it?
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Is it?
Because we talked about that, and you guys said there was like only really one song that hit.
Well, I said there was two that I like.
Yeah, there was a couple for me too, but it's rare. It's rare for me to get behind a soundtrack that doesn't have the real real songs. So
Yeah.
when like the score actually stays with
something.
me, yeah, I got to put it underneath Iron Man.
Because Iron Man is above Guardians 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We can sandwich them in between those two.
Are you all right with that, Winnie? Where did you think it goes?
I think it goes under Civil War.
Oh
above
well,
Winter
screw you.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm outvoted. It goes above Guardians Volume 2, under Iron Man, making it the new number 5. Simple mind. Just kidding.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
No,
dude. So many frames, Winston. So many
the
frames.
next
So many
one,
phrases.
the next Marvel movie we do, the soundtrack is going to be high for me because
I don't even know.
it's
What is
one
the
of the,
next
my
one?
Oh yes, yes.
it's one of my
What's
favorite
the next
sound,
one?
like Black
You're
Panther.
gonna love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that one does go very high. For
I
sure.
remember when we were doing Guardians. I'm like, there's like no other movie that like incorporates music. Like, no wait, Panther. Black Panther.
Yep. All right, I've got a lot of marvelous facts to get through, so let's start knocking some of these out.
Marvelous fact.
Thank you. Korg, the rock monster, introduces himself with a rock paper scissors joke when he first meets Thor.
So good.
Korg explains that he ended up as a gladiator because he didn't print enough pamphlets. Paper beats rock. Later, at the end of the movie, Korg thinks that he accidentally crushed Meek, his blade-armed alien gladiator friend, and killed him. Though Meek does wake up, Korg killing Meek would mean that rock beats scissors. Interesting one. I like that one.
I love Meek too.
You know,
Just like
I didn't like
a
him as much as I
bionic
originally.
slug.
Oh, Meek.
No.
Yes, I didn't like Korg as much as I remembered.
No, Korg is great too, bro. Korg is amazing.
When this was, we were talking about short hair, I should have said this then, but when Thor becomes a gladiator, he has a signature long hair cut short. In ancient Roman history, slaves who were sent to gladiator school and trained as gladiators had their hair cut short.
Bro.
Thor also wears the winged helmet during the battle, which is reminiscent to his helmet in Norse mythology.
Dude, I just realized, like, I totally get that vibe, like, of a Norse gladiator getting captured by Romans and being played for fun. Like, it's great.
Yeah. This is one that I actually had. I was like, I wonder what that is. The Grand Master's Tower features statues of his champions, notable figures from the Marvel comics. The
Oh my
alien.
God, I can't remember his name.
The
The horse faced one. Give me a second.
Better A.
Beta Ray Bill.
The
Which
alien
I
being
want them
Beta
to
Ray
do.
Bill, top left. The supernatural entity Man Thing, top center. The Greek god
Bottom center.
says top center.
I thought Hulk was top center.
I don't know. The Greek god Ares, top right. The android monster, the Bi-Beast, bottom right.
Oh, you're right.
The alien Fin Fan Foom, bottom center, and the Nightcrawler, bottom left. Note that the Nightcrawler is not to be confused with Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Dude, I want to see Beta Ray Bill because I like the idea of just like another random alien that actually looks like an alien that's like worthy of the hammer. It's
Yeah,
great.
and
I want
like
to see Throg.
and like Beta Ray Bill, like he is very important to the comics. Like at certain times, like he like takes Thor's place for a little while Thor is, absent, let's say. You know what? Let's throw this one in there now. So, if you guys remember from our Spider-Man, our last video, Eric actually knew the artist that drew Spider-Man's.
Yeah, one of the artists that would draw the weekly comic strip in the newspaper.
Yep.
Well, let's clarify that I know his
son. You knew his son.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding
He had
us.
connections to the legendary Jack Kirby. A panel in Grandmaster's viewing room is decorated with Jack Kirby artwork that comes from Marvel Comics Fantastic Four number 64. And a street on Sakaar is named Kirby Way after Marvel artist and writer Jack Kirby.
Cool. That's cool.
Cool. All right. Now, let's rank action sequence.
Okay, so we have the final fight, which is okay. Like, it's got moments. Like freaking Thor actually becoming the god of thunder is pretty dope.
It is.
Yeah.
I really like that they did that because I'd always thought of that too. I'm like, he's the god of like thunder, but he doesn't really use lightning that much, And I like how in this movie they're like, no, it's going to be his main thing and his only thing, really, and that's awesome. Unfortunately, they don't really stick with that though, which is kind
Yeah,
of
which is
sucks.
super disappointing. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand what they did in Infinity War, and we'll get into it then. But there had to have been a solution.
Hmm.
Um, it's cool to see him slap around Hela. Like, it's cool to see that. Like, I totally felt the vibe that it's like Thor is on his way to being as strong as Hela. Like, he's not there yet, but it's like he will. It totally feels like, oh, he'll get there. It's just because she's older and has more experience. Like, that's why she's more powerful than him. But
Millions of
it
years older.
absolutely feels like, oh man, he's on his way to being able to go like at that power level.
No, yeah.
Um,
Odin's even said himself he's stronger than him.
no, he
So,
didn't. He didn't say stronger. He said better, right?
No, he
well,
said
better.
stronger. He said
Oh,
stronger.
oh, that is right. He does say stronger. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like he didn't mean at that moment, but in the end,
Well,
he will
it's
be.
yeah, it's more than that. It's also just like in moral fiber, and strength of character.
Yep. Yep.
God, do you imagine if they had like given us foreshadowing of like Odin has a terrible past, and that's part of the reason why he's so obsessed with Thor not following in his footsteps. You know?
Yep. Okay, I think we should do Hulk versus Thor. It's the
It's
best.
so good, man.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable. It's got, like you said, great choreography, which is awesome because it doesn't have that like martial arts choreography that we love to see so much. It doesn't.
Oh yeah.
It just has, you know, just I don't even know how to describe it. Just like
Bashes.
that larger than life, superhero fight. But it's
Hmm.
still just so enjoyable to watch them just throw each other around. It's great.
Yep. Yep. Um, where should we rank this fight though? I'm thinking, man,
I don't think
I
it's going
guess
to be super high up, but it is pretty high up.
okay. Should I start with Hulk versus Tony?
Is it okay? I think it's honestly pretty close to that. How,
Yeah.
how, how do you guys feel?
I think it's better than that, honestly.
Yeah,
Do
I think
you?
it's better too. I
I
do.
don't know. Like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
But this
Like
has
that's
more
such a
of
nice moment.
with the Hulk versus Tony fight, it's really like stressful because there's so many people around, but also it kind of feels like he isn't gonna stop Hulk. And
Yeah.
with this one, it's like, man, who could win? It's like one or the other, like this straight
I
up.
feel I feel like I didn't get that at all. Like I feel from the beginning that Thor is holding back.
Yeah. And then he stops holding back. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Like, actually, I don't know. I don't think Hulk was going for the kill. Like, Hulk wasn't going for the kill. He
No,
wasn't because he didn't kill him. But
no.
Thor definitely wasn't going for the kill at all.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so you're totally right about that. Like, it absolutely felt like, man, can Tony beat the Hulk?
Yeah.
But in this one, it feels way more even.
Hmm.
I don't know, dude. There's just so many cool little moments in the Hulkbuster fight, where it's like, there's the go to sleep
He's like
one, then
shooting a
there's the
laser,
one,
and then he's getting a new arm over here.
yeah,
That
and then
was
there's
pretty
the one
cool.
where he's like punching him, and then Hulk catches it and then starts to destroy the suit. And then there's the one where he's like throwing an elevator at him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All
And
right,
like, but
let's
this,
put it under. Let's
I
put it under.
know, but this one also has really good moments.
He's gonna
Like
do
yeah,
it
there's
right here. He's gonna do it right here. Here it
well, that's what I'm
comes.
saying. Like I don't know because there's also
I
moments
gotta
like
talk
yeah,
myself
like
out of it.
Hulk
Just give me a second.
Hulk is beating the crap out of him, and then Thor's like, fine, and then like flicks him, and then Hulk just goes sliding around the arena. Like that is such a dope little
Yeah.
moment.
I don't
And
know.
then
The
it's
the lightning really gets me where it's like
yeah, dude, like
it's a
that is so
knockout, dude.
freaking hype. And then like I also love how it's like the different fighting styles. Like yes, Hulk maybe is stronger than Thor, but like Thor is he's just like a seasoned fighter.
Yeah,
Like
he's a
he has
warrior,
fought
straight up.
so much. So where he's like, I'm gonna dodge this and then choke you out, and it's like
And
it's so
it's
great.
interesting too because Thor is actually used to fighting bigger creatures than himself.
I know, yeah. And it's also great, like he grabs the other hammer
Yep.
and just uses the hammer. It's so
And that
great.
one hit, dude, it
I
sends
know,
him
dude.
it launches him,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Um,
Yeah, so like there's good moments, dude. But at the same time, there's freaking Hulk, like freaking bam, 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 bam. That's a cool moment. What else does Hulk have? I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's so close. All right. Do you guys have a strong feeling
I
one
say
way
it
or the
goes
other?
above Hulk versus Tony.
All right, I'm fine with it. If you feel the same way, Eric, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's put
I
it there.
honestly, I feel like they're tied, which I think is fitting.
Yeah,
Hulk fighting another Avenger, but no, I'm fine with that.
cool. Making it the
It's also
new.
more visually appealing. I feel like,
Yeah.
right? I don't even know if that's true. It's good. It's good.
Making it the new number 5.
Woo! It's a good
Cool.
fight. It really
It
is
is a really
fun.
good fight. Yeah. I wanted to do this one. I know. We talk about it a lot, but Chris Hemsworth looks freaking great in this movie. Like that one shirtless scene's like, dude,
I
freaking
love that it's only
beautiful.
for a second too.
Yeah.
It's great. Very tasty.
But
Very tasty.
Chris Hemsworth had to bulk up again for this role as Thor. He had to follow a strict diet, work out 6 to 7 times a week, and eat around 6,000 calories per day. Chris Hemsworth's trainer, Luke Zocchi,
Zocchi.
revealed that Hemsworth put on 20 pounds of muscle for his role in this movie, taking his weight up over 200 pounds by following an old school bodybuilding regimen, lifting a large weight load for a small number of reps. Does that sound familiar, Nate? Zocchi revealed Hemsworth's favorite body part to train was his biceps, saying he designed the workout around the body parts he was going to be showing off the most. He's going to have his arms and shoulders showing through the sleeveless armor. So that's the thing he really focused on building up. He probably bicep curled 30 kilogram dumbbells on average, each hand.
That's like 70 pounds almost.
Dang, yeah.
On 70 pounds.
On each
Think about
hand.
that.
So 120 pounds total. We always do
60.
we always do seated incline curls, standing curls, and hammer curls. We started lighter and slowly, progressively got heavier. Sochi said that they're trying to deliver Hemsworth's best physique yet for this movie. And that was obviously.
And we've seen him now.
And now, which he looks like he
unhealthy.
outdid himself again, and he looks like a freaking
Unhealthy.
dude.
Unhealthy.
The freaking trailer doesn't do him justice. Like that one Instagram post, his arms are like freaking
As big as my torso.
yeah, dude. It's like
no
God
joke, dude. They're
dang.
like this big. Like from here to here is just his bicep.
It's crazy.
He looks like he could be in WWE.
Dude, he looks like he could rule the WWE. I'm not joking. Like I know what the guys in the WWE look like. They are also massive.
Yeah.
But even compared to those guys, like, dude, that guy needs to fight the Undertaker because like
looks like he's been juiced.
They need it does, and I think he might be because like they need that like whoever Hemsworth fights needs the height advantage for it to be fair.
And like honestly, like we don't talk about it enough, but it should be like celebrated to an extent of how much effort these actors go through to get in this shape. Like their performances, obviously they are actors, that is their primary focus, but the way that they look for these movies it takes so much work to get there that I feel like it is something that people should talk about quite a bit of like, hey, they worked their butts off to look like this for this movie. You know? Some people think like, oh, they just walked out of bed and looked like that. It's like, no, like we said in some of the other facts, like they were doing bicep curls between shots so that they could look like that, you know? Yeah. So it is interesting. The one you've been waiting for, Nate. Let's talk about Tom Hiddleston's performance.
Yeah, it's good. Can you give us the list?
Short list. Avengers, Thor Dark World, and Thor.
Okay. I think it's definitely above Thor Dark World just because we get more of him. It's just a lot of good stuff, dude. Like I said, it's just every scene he's in is a joy. Totally believable. Like there isn't a moment where it's like, I don't know if I buy that. It's like he is Loki and Loki feels real, like fully 3-dimensional fleshed out character. And a lot of that is because of him.
I want to shout out the scene where I was like, that was a super subtle but great performance. When he's sitting with Odin, and Odin just says, "My sons," and it cuts to Loki, and he just looks at his dad, and you can tell in that moment he's like, "You just called me a son," and I was like, "Dang!" That moment hit me harder than I remembered it hitting me before. Probably because we were watching this in order. But I was like, "Whoa, that was." That's of significance in that scene, and it's so subtle, but it works so well.
Dude, there's a couple moments like that. Like when he floats away, Odin, like I mean, it's a wide shot, but like it looks like Loki's crying. Like it looks, and it's great, dude. Like, yeah, Tom Hiddleston just has that ability, dude, to just whatever emotion he needs, like craziness, anger, desperation. Like he can just tap into it, dude, at a moment's notice, dude.
He is actually one of those actors that can on command make himself cry. It's because there was I don't know, it was a late night one, and it was like the Jimmy Fallon or something like that, and they had him do it. They're like, so I heard you can make yourself cry like on command. He's like, I just kind of can tap into it. They're like, can you show us that like tonight? And he just ended up doing it. It was amazing to watch. It was
Baby,
awesome.
he's so loud, babe. But yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's awesome when he's like a hologram talking to Thor in prison. He's awesome when he's scaring Bruce Banner. He's awesome when he's like being comical. Like he's awesome when he's like, now you know how it feels, or I need to leave this planet.
I really like the line too. I feel like it's not talked about enough. Where he's all like, "Let's be honest, the communication in our family was never its strong suit." Like that line was like, it's delivered like just like bypassing. But like, that's super important as well. Like,
yeah, bro. Like that whole moment at the end, where like they're escaping Sakaar together, and it's just Loki and Thor fighting and having their conversations. Like that does such a good job, like explaining to us where their relationship is at, explaining to us how their relationship has developed, giving us history.
Yep.
It's like so good, and a lot, dude. Like Tom Hiddleston, like Taika Waititi did a good job giving Chris Hemsworth's like something to do with his acting, because he's not a terrible actor. But like Tom Hiddleston just like elevates Chris Hemsworth, where it's like they feel like brothers, and it's great. Man, I don't know, dude, because it's like Loki is very two-dimensional in Avengers. It's good two-dimensional, and there is hints of that third dimension in there in Avengers. But in this film, he just feels like such a fleshed out character. So I don't know. I mean, what's on top?
Avengers. Yeah. Oh, okay. That was a question, not a.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think this goes number one.
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
I'm fine with it. He's great.
Sweet. Yeah. Sweet. Making it obviously the new number one, pushing Avengers down to number two. Bravo, Tom Hiddleston. Honestly,
good job.
Very.
There's a reason why only you and Robert Downey Jr. have performances lists.
Honestly,
right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more marvelous facts for you.
2 more marvelous facts.
Thank you. Thor called his team the Revengers.
The Revengers.
In the comic
There's a Metal
books,
Gear Solid game with that name.
Of course there is. In the Marvel comics, the Revengers were a team of supervillains / anti-heroes made to oppose the Avengers, which is kind of weird that
very comic booky.
Yeah, of course. And also another one about dynamics. The movie contains 3 members of the comic books incarnation of the Defenders superhero group: Valkyrie, Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a founding member of the Defenders. And on that side note, I wanted to say that Thor with Doctor Strange, that dynamic was awesome, and I loved it. Dude. That's where I feel like the humor was really working. Like the whole and then like
Yeah.
switch into something else, and like that was great.
I know, bro. Dude, I wish we would have gotten more of this Doctor Strange. Because like his gloves do look stupid, and I think you mentioned that before. But
Yep.
he just feels so much like that is the Sorcerer Supreme. Like every
Even though
single
he's
way
not,
that he,
but yeah.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Every way, everything he's saying, the way he's acting, the abilities he's using, the way he's using those abilities, like that looks
Yep.
like the Sorcerer Supreme to me.
Like Loki getting pissed at him and then like, okay, I'm done.
Okay, somebody calls somebody a witch at some point in this film.
Mhm.
Who
Loki
who
called Doctor Strange a witch.
did he?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's right. I
And
think
he's like,
Loki was
you
talking
think
to Thor, and Loki said, "I'm not a witch." And then Thor says, "Why do you dress like one then?" Which is hilarious, by the
true.
way, because he does. And I don't remember the context, but I feel like that was like a tiny hint as to like the way witches were going to be in the MCU. Because I can't remember what it is, and I'm super pissed off. But I think
Well-
Thor asks him to do something that a witch would do. And then when we see witches later in the MCU, it's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So I think Freya was technically a kind of
Yes,
witch.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I think he asks because his mother was a witch. Freya's a witch.
Yeah.
So, and see, then again, it's the same thing that we've been talking about over and over with the Doctor Strange stuff, where Freya's a witch, and we don't see her dealing with runes. We don't see her like
Well, that
doing
we
that
know
kind of
of,
thing.
bro.
We see she taught Loki everything about
Well, you
magic.
think about it, dude. Loki does a ton of that mind stuff. And who does a ton of the mind stuff?
Scarlet Witch, yeah.
There you go.
But
That's
you
all I'm
don't, we
saying.
never
There's
see
a connection.
Loki dealing with
There's a
runes or
connection
doing
there.
witchcraft as we
Because
now know
Loki
it.
isn't a witch.
Yeah, but he
He's-
learned everything from his mom, and we never see his mom even do that kind of
But
thing.
they've
It's
clearly
all about illusion.
listen. They've clearly said that like sorcery and this witch stuff is connected. Like they're not the same thing, but they share a lot of things.
Sure.
So you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it what they've been doing with witchcraft lately and sorcery. It
Yeah,
just
it's
still
messy.
feels like a hard turn, where it's like everything from now. We have never seen anything like that. Never dealt with anything like that. This doesn't feel canonically correct, and I still don't like it. So
I mean,
that's
I
my
honestly
piece.
ultimately agree with you.
Now we can finally rank this trilogy. I think it's like
Only
most
have-
of the others. It speaks for
only have-
itself.
2 right now? It's Iron Man and Captain America?
Yes.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Well, no, but we first have to rank it in its own trilogy, which I
Oh,
think
it
speaks
goes
for itself.
it goes 3, 1, 2.
Yeah. 3-1-2.
3, 1, 2. Of course it does.
And it goes 3, 1, 2.
Exactly.
It's like good, painfully mediocre, terrible.
Man, okay, there we go. And the trilogies, of course, right now are Captain America at number 1 and Iron Man at number 2. Where do we put the Thor trilogy, gentlemen?
3.
Of course, number 3.
Yeah, like Captain America is like basically God tier trilogy.
Well,
I mean, if Captain America 1 was better, it would be like a God tier trilogy.
And here's something I gotta ask: are we going to, after Infinity War? Are we gonna rank the Avengers
No.
trilogy, or is it the Avengers?
No, we can't
Saga.
because
It's because there's more.
Infinity
than one.
War is just it's half a movie. It's 3 hours long and it's somehow still half a movie.
Yeah, right.
Which
It's
I love. I'm
part
here
one.
for it.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man is like really good, like again, super, super good. And then 2, like, I don't hate it.
Yeah, like solid. Yeah, sure. Cool.
That was fast.
Before we get to ranking the after credits, I'm gonna do the last 2 marvelous facts.
Marvelous fact.
Sif was originally supposed to appear in this movie, but
Oh.
Jamie Alexander's shooting schedule for the 3rd season of Blind Spot, actually Blind Spot was a cool show, crashed with this movie schedule. It was decided to it was decided to have the character written out, with producer Kevin Feige saying that Sif was off on a mission during Ragnarok. Because sure she was.
I mean, it's not crazy. Because how what's the timeline? Was it like 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, I guess. Well, because it gets weird. Because when they're on
The car.
Sakaar, like Valkyrie says, like, "Oh yeah, we could be there in 18 days."
Yeah,
like,
I
no.
noticed that too. That made absolutely no sense. Like, how did Loki get there so fast? When supposedly the only ship that could go through, what's it called? The Devil's Anus was that one that they used. So how did Loki get there so fast?
Yeah,
That's a plot hole.
straight up. And
Again, it's like all you have to do is just not say that. Like, just don't say the only ship that can do it is this one, and then you're fine.
or like we also have never.
I thought they said it was one of the only ships.
Did they?
I don't know.
I thought they said it was the only one. No, dude, they say it's the only one because they say like, oh, it needs to have this, and this, and they're like, oh, well, the only one that has that is this one.
Other than the Quinjet, which was destroyed.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's like an argument to be made that like you're right, like it was one of the only ones, but the reason they said the only one is because they're not going to take a freaking like tanker through the Devil's Anus. So, maybe that isn't a plot hole.
Another thing though is like it's weird because you think that if we were talking about time, like within space and different planets, that would be talked about in Guardians. That's never been mentioned before, and then they mention it in this, and it kind of just makes a
No,
loophole.
I don't think there is a time difference between different planets. I think it's just Sakaar because it's basically on the all the way outer. It sounds like it's on the edge of the galaxy.
Yeah.
That's why time is like that.
Okay.
Which again, does that mean that one, Hulk has not been there for 2 years in his time,
That's a
and
good...
two, Valkyrie is way younger because she's been there so long. Because Valkyrie is like
super old. She's
almost as old
than...
as Hela.
Yeah.
Almost as old as Hela, which is way older than Thor and Loki.
That's a very good point. I never had thought about that. Very
But maybe
interesting.
she's not that old because she's been there so long.
Another thing that I had asked, and I didn't find it in any Marvelous Facts, so you guys correct me, and I asked Eric before this, is the Grand Master a Celestial? Because it seems like his story is very similar to Quill's dad.
Who at some point said that he was related to the Collector?
Yeah.
Like, when was that said?
I think it's said in the comics. I don't think they ever said that in the MCU.
In the MCU?
If, like I was telling Winnie before, I think I remember an episode of one of the cartoons I was watching, and I think that's what they brought up in one of the episodes. So let me look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Because I absolutely can see it, that they're like related.
Yeah, like even the casting. I'm just
and the
like
eccentricity.
Okay,
Jeff Goldblum makes this amazing.
A fun connection to Thor Ragnarok is that Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster is also a Celestial. Yeah.
Where is that from? Oh, is it Celestial?
Is.
Okay. Yeah, Celestials are just all over the place, bro. I feel like Arishem, sometimes he gets little seeds that are like just effed up a little bit, you know? And then those seeds turn into Jeff Goldblum and Kurt Russell.
Dude. And I gotta say, like, I'm sorry, but I disagree. Like, I guess I'm just not a Goldblum fan,
you're wrong,
but I'm like,
and I hate you. You're just wrong.
I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't like the Grandmaster.
He's beautiful, and I love him.
He's
just himself. He's just playing Jeff Goldblum, and it's great. I get it. Like the one scene where he just stops talking.
That's right. That's so dumb.
So dumb.
Yeah,
I just love it. Like I wait for it to happen.
He's like, oh yes, like you're this age and I'm.
I love it, dude. It's such a beautiful piece of cinema, dude. I love it, dude.
During their panel at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, while sharing details on the third Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok, it was revealed that Jeff Goldblum's character, the Grand Master, is actually the Collector's brother, building a connection to the already established part of the cosmic side of the MCU.
Yeah, okay. So the Collector is also
A celestial.
Celestial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when he showed the Guardians that little video of the evil collector destroying the planet, he's like, "That's my uncle."
No,
Like he could
that's
have been like,
because that's an eternal. Not an
no,
eternal. That's not an eternal. Yeah, that
that's
is
a
a
celestial.
celestial. You are correct. Yes.
Tell you,
Wow.
dude, Erisham is like, okay, here are the real Celestials. They're the size of planets, and then here are my little piddly ones that just didn't come out right. You know, they came out with like a limp wing. So like, I'm just gonna put you guys just on like the little trash parts of the universe. Ego, you get your own weird ass planet. Jeff Goldblum, you get Sakaar. And then freaking you get you the collector literally lives in the skull of a celestial.
I
Like,
know. You get to live in
oh,
your dead brother.
I'm gonna put you in like your mother's brain. You can just hang out there. I love it, dude. I just love that there's like two different types of celestials. There's like the crappy ones and the real ones. And Erisham is just putting the crappy ones in just these random spots.
Man. Last marvelous fact. During the second half of the movie, Thor is wearing a cape made from the drapes of the Incredible Hulk's apartment. It is a subtle reference to this first meeting with Tony Stark. Does mother know you weareth her drapes?
That's
I was
so
like,
great.
I love that. That's fantastic.
That's great.
All right, gentlemen. After credits.
We have two. We have the first one, which is Thanos showing up, and then we have the second one, which is
The
Jeff
Grandmaster
Goldblum saying that it's a tie, which is great. Also, I'm confused. Did like his ship crash? Because he pops out of that like ship with like two gorgeous women behind him. Was he like having an orgy while the revolution was happening?
Probably.
Like what was happening?
Sounds definitely like something he would do.
Don't touch anything.
You just can't get enough Jeff Goldblum, bro. You cannot get enough.
I can
Jeff
definitely
Goldblum,
get enough Jeff
dude.
Goldblum,
No,
apparently.
you can't. He's just great, dude. He makes this film better. Also, did you notice the Willy Wonka music playing in the
did.
psychedelic
Mhm.
tunnel? Like,
That was
very
dope.
hard
That was dope.
yeah,
I love it.
it's a good soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. No, dude, he's great. I could watch him all day. I legit could watch him all day.
And this is the other thing where I'm like, I just don't get it. And I've heard so many people say what you're saying. I just don't get it. Sorry, buddy.
He's just
It's
entertaining.
me.
Like he's just
It's not you, it's
entertaining
me,
to
okay?
watch. Yeah, I don't know where to rank this one because visually it looks both of them are just bleh. It also feels like the after credit scene where Thanos shows up feels like it was directed by somebody completely different.
Maybe Russo brothers.
Or like the Kevin Feige, just like I'll take care of this, Taika. I don't want you to mess this up because this needs to tie in, and let me just take care of it, Taika. You take this day off. It'll take me like an hour. We'll get it done. But because yeah, it's also not even shot. I feel like the way Taika shoots things, like it's very boring, very static shots as well. I don't know, dude. I like love and I don't love it. I kind of hate this after credit scene because it's just like it's so monumentally important, but the way that they show it is
It's
just
kinda like,
so
oh.
like odd.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it gives it no context. Like it could literally be anything, like anybody showing up. So
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
it's
okay,
actually Thanos.
yeah, you're like, okay, so a ship showed up. Cool.
Yeah. And if like
Low.
if you know
Low.
if you like really know, you're like, oh, that ship kind of looks like, Ronan's
that
ship, I guess.
Ronin's ship.
So it's probably one of Thanos's people.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure I
it's
thought
not
that.
like,
He was like, is Ronin back? Like, I think
Yeah.
I thought that.
but it's not like, oh, that's Thanos, Thanos showed up.
Like, honestly, it probably would have been better if this after credit scene was just like a tiny little snippet of the beginning of Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Low on the
Like of
list.
just Thanos like standing there with all
I don't even know if like you
invading
have
the
to
ship-
show
ship.
Thanos. Maybe just show the Infinity Gauntlet with one stone in it.
Or the Black
and
Order.
and Heimdall on the ground. Like it could be
That's how it
Heimdall
starts.
laying down. Yeah, it could be Heimdall laying down and then like a boot stepping on him, and then it pans up slowly, and you just see the Infinity Gauntlet with like one stone in it. 10
Nate-
times better.
Nate's writing it again.
Dude,
Yeah.
one day, guys, I'm gonna direct something awesome
Sure.
when I'm like
Sure you
50.
will. Okay, so
I don't think it's awesome.
let's start at the middle.
Not even, man.
No, so you start in the middle.
Low.
You can start in the middle because it's
Alright.
not. There's some bad after credits, and it's
That's
not
true.
terrible.
All right, we're gonna start with number 5, Vulture and Scorpion. 6 is Civil War, Wakanda and Bucky. 7 is
Bucky.
Doctor Strange, Thor meets Doc. 8 is Thor, Loki having the Tesseract. 9 is Incredible Hulk, Tony walking into a bar. 10 is Thor Dark World, we see the Collector. 11 is Iron Man Fury. And 12 is Iron Man 2, we see the hammer. He's still not there? Like I feel like
Above the hammer? Maybe above the hammer?
Is it above the hammer?
Seriously? I think it's better than that.
All right. Yeah, no, it's better than the hammer because the hammer is literally nothing. It's just the
Yeah,
hammer.
It's just the hammer.
What's above the hammer right now?
Fury.
Yeah, because at least we get a couple lines with Fury. We get to see Fury. It's below Fury.
What do you think, Eric?
Above the hammer, but below Fury.
Sure.
Sure.
I think
Okay.
it's fine.
All right. Okay. Let's go with it. That makes it new number 12. That's pretty low.
It's not a good after credit scene. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's confusing. It's just a confusing after credit scene.
It is. Yes. They don't make their intentions clear for sure.
Yeah, and they don't show anything that cool. Like that ship. Who cares?
Eric, it is your time to shine. Where
So happy.
do you rank Thor Ragnarok in the MCU? Where would you like me to start? The top, I presume.
Yeah.
We have your top 5: Avengers, Guardians, Iron Man, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and number 6 is Homecoming.
Oh, that's such a freaking
What's number 7?
Doctor Strange.
no. It's somewhere in between there. What was number 4?
Civil War.
Honestly, probably above Civil War.
Under Iron Man.
Yes, under Iron Man because there's
Great
not as
man.
much, there's not as much weight, but it comes down to like what movie I would want to watch more. And this one is just it's so entertaining to me, so that's where I'd
I
put
get
it.
that.
New number 4 for Eric.
Dang.
Dang.
Yes, it's very high. I'm sorry. I've ruined everything for you. I'm sorry.
Nate, it is your time to shine. Where do you rank Thor Ragnarok in the MCU? Your top 5: Civil War, Winter Soldier, The Avengers, Iron Man, Guardians, and number 6 is Homecoming.
Yeah, it's above Homecoming.
Under Guardians.
Yeah.
Okay. New number 6 for Nate.
And here we go. I'm so happy when he's gonna get his own list.
I think it goes number 1. Just kidding.
When he is still getting his own list.
Oh man. So if we all know this is the time. This is the time. I don't think we'll agree on this as a team. So oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I'm thinking about it. I'm
That's
like,
so
okay,
low.
going down. Homecoming? Nope. Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Nope. Ant-Man?
Yes.
Nope. Guardians Volume 2? Ooh,
Yes.
that's the one where it's like, oh man. Yeah. Goes above Guardians Volume 2 for me. So I'm putting it at the new number 9 spot for me. Which
Okay,
isn't
what's
that
above-
bad. It's still above Age of
above
Ultron.
it?
Super low.
What's above it right now, according to you, Winston?
Ant-Man.
Nah, I like this movie more than Ant-Man. That's for sure. What's above Ant-Man?
Doctor Strange.
Okay, keep going. What's above Doctor Strange?
Homecoming.
Yeah, like I said, this is like kind of right where I had it. What's above Homecoming?
Guardians.
Yeah, so I have it my same spot. Like it's below Homecoming. Eric?
Below Guardians at least, yeah.
At
You have it below
least.
Guardians? Yeah.
Do you put it above Guardians?
No.
No.
Okay, so that's a
So
new spot.
Guardians is the hard ceiling, and
It's right under Homecoming.
Guardians 2 is the hard
It's a hard bottom.
floor.
Well, you guys have already decided it. You both agree
No,
that
I
it
put
goes,
it. Oh yeah, because I put it above Homecoming.
and
Yeah, so
Below
did I.
Guardians.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
so that's a new
cool.
spot,
Yeah.
just above Homecoming,
Suck it, nerd.
making it the new number 6. Hey, at least
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
good.
in the top 5.
I love it. It's just outside the top 5 for
It's
now.
where it should be. Where it should be.
Dude, it's so much better than than Strange in my opinion, and Ant-Man.
No, Ant-Man, it's just the humor in Ant-Man. There is at times where I'm like almost all the time the humor hits with me with Ant-Man, and with this one there was just so many times that I just didn't. I was
I feel like
surprised though.
Ant-Man has moments of brilliance, whereas this one is like throughout, and it also has like a couple like that's freaking hilarious.
What I am curious, what are like some of the jokes that really got you guys in this?
I mean, I just told you about the silence, dude. Like the silence,
That made you
like where Jeff
chuckle
Goldblum just stops
or laugh?
talking. Like it's just like I don't know. It's just like it just makes me happy. You know, it just brings me joy to watch a scene where Jeff Goldblum just stops talking. Like it's great. And then also like I mentioned the joke where it's like, well, then why do you dress like a witch? Like that's great. I love that. Dude, Korg. Anytime Korg talks is funny. It's like I didn't do no pamphlets. I hate my mom's boyfriend. It's a rock paper scissors joke.
See, I'm like separately, I do like Korg, but we have that really touching scene with Loki and Thor, and he's like, "Hey, coming to terms with their father's death and everything," and he's just like, "Man, screw you. I don't even want to talk to you." He's like, "All right, fine," and then he leaves, and he's like, "Get out of here, ghost!" Poof!
That
And
was
like, but
so
I'm like,
freaking hilarious. I love
why?
it.
Why do we have to break
That's
this touching
hilarious
moment
to
with
me.
a like? It's like for me, it feels like fart jokes. You know, it's like,
Nah,
don't need
it's
this here.
great. Dude, yeah, Korg is great because there's that, and then where's Korg is talking about like, oh, it's like another day, another Doug. It's like, oh, Doug fought the champion. Oh, Doug's dead. Like that's great. And then freaking, oh yeah, dude, them as Guardians, they're hard to perish. I just love the way he talks. It's
All
great. Oh, and then I mean, freaking, and even Thor, dude, he has his moments, dude, where it's hilarious.
Thor with Hulk.
Yeah,
back
they're
and
bickering like children.
Sometimes I like that. Sometimes, but with it with like the fire and like, well, no, I big fire, you know, and all that stuff. I was like, this scene doesn't grab me. But it was like some of the other things that did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when it is Thor and Hulk, I agree with you. Like Hulk isn't that funny, but Thor, I feel like, is hilarious. You know, like yeah, again, it's like all the other Avengers say you're stupid. You're the stupid Avenger. Like that was hilarious. And then also, it's like because that's what heroes do. And then he throws the ball and just floors himself. I love that.
Okay, well, that was our revisitation for Thor Ragnarok. Thank you for
Thank you, guys.
watching. Eric, let us know, what is the next Marvel movie?
Before we do that, I would like to do a little shout out to all you out there that are watching this. Once again, I thank you. We thank you. Please like, subscribe. We're so close to 100 people.
Oh yeah, what did we say we
Yeah.
were gonna do when we got to 100?
We're gonna throw a party.
Like a sausage party?
I don't. Oh, I hope not.
Winston, we talked about this. What do you say we were gonna do?
I don't remember.
We said we are gonna do
We're
something.
we're gonna do a new intro video. That's what we said.
Yeah, we're gonna do a new intro video with like streamers and pinata. It was great.
Also, we will be throwing an in-person party with cake and drinks, and so
we're gonna get champagne. We're gonna explode champagne. Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. So please, 5 more subscribers, and I'm visiting Colorado in July, so that would be great.
Oh, dude, it'd be amazing if we could get that to happen.
Do it together. So yeah, Yes,
You know what we
please.
could do? We can just film it when Eric is here,
And then we'll just
and then
upload.
when we get there, we'll just upload it.
I love it. I love it. And then we can have the cake and everything. Yeah, too. So
Yeah.
that's great. It's perfect. All right. So someday we'll get that. All right. But off of my rant. Next on Marvel Revisited, we will be watching Black Panther. Sorry.
I can't wait. I am actually looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I am too.
Um,
Yeah, dude. At this point, man, yeah, and the MCU has been like kicking on all cylinders now for a while. Like honestly, all of Phase 3.
Yep.
Like I think the lowest we're at right now with Phase 3 is Good Guardians 2,
Yep.
which is not a bad movie.
Yep. It's above Age of Ultron. That's the bar, right?
Yeah, I mean, Strange was good, although I didn't
Oh,
like it
was
that
it?
much. Although I didn't like it that much. Freaking, but we got Spider-Man, which was great. We got freaking Civil War, which is amazing. We've got Ragnarok, which is amazing. We got Ant-Man, which is good. And now it's just like like this. God, from Spider-Man on, it's just like can't stop the Marvel train. Like it's probably the best era of MCU.
For sure.
Was right there.
Yep. We'll see if it ever matches it again, but as of now, it hasn't. I'm actually getting like wow, we are getting dangerously close to going
Catching
to
up.
Phase 4. I'm like, wow.
I don't know what we're gonna do
Phase
about the
4.
shows.
I
Got to
don't know.
figure out what we're gonna do with the shows.
Yeah. Well, if you know anybody who lost their dad and he faded
No.
away,
No.
Faded away.
every time
I
I
like
have
it.
to do it crazy, so Nate
I
has
like
to draw it back.
The Lost Their Eye one is pretty good,
Oh, lost.
but that's also not enough people. If you know anybody who has played rock paper scissors,
Who has an estranged sister.
no, who has played rock paper scissors, tell them to watch this podcast. There's heavy rock paper scissors themes in this podcast.
In this movie.
And I think they'll like it, and in the film, yeah. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, until next time, have a marvelous day and stay frosty.
bye, everybody.
Or a marvelous night.